Present.
Commissioner Powell.
Here.
Commissioner Gingell.
Here.
Commissioner Loops.
Here.
You have quorum.
Thank you. Please join me in rising for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our first item is to approve the minutes from March 3rd. I have a motion by Commissioner Powell, support from Commissioner Spiz. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Our minutes are approved. Next is approving our agenda. Today I have a motion by Commissioner Taylor and support from Commissioner Spiz. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Our agenda is approved. We've arrived at our public comment for items on the agenda. Is there anyone from the public wishing to comment for items on the agenda? You come to the end of the table, state your name and community, and you have 3 minutes. Seeing none, our first public comment is closed. We move on to our Sheriff's Office recommendations. There are 2 items. One is an interlocal agreement with OCHN for the Burns State Crisis Intervention Program, and the second item is Project Prove It with Black Group for Unmanned Air Support as a service program for drone response services. I have a motion by Commissioner Spiz, support from Commissioner Powell, and we have our Under Sheriff and Guy here to comment on these items.
Good morning. So the first item is our is an extension of the interlocal agreement with OCHN for the Crisis Intervention Program. It's $310,096 and it continues the grant period through March 31st of 2027. And then the next item, I'm going to pass over to you.
Yeah, the second item is a motion to approve a one-time 9-month project pilot program with Flock drones. The agreement is 7 drones throughout the county. The idea we're gonna try to do is in the next 9 months, closer to 6 months, get data to determine if this is a program that we think is something we should explore further.
And drones have a different function now than in previous years.
Yeah, well, yes and no. I mean, so these drones in particular are all case driven, call for service driven. So we don't, I mean, the big issue is obviously some privacy and things of that nature, but ours are all, we have a dashboard that we continually use. You can see every flight, the public can see every flight, anyone can see every flight. The flight path, time up and everything, and each one is attached to a call for service number. So we don't do any type of patrol with it, they're all directed toward whatever. And then on top of that, there's a host of other issues that, I mean, I can tell you about if you guys care to hear it.
And these drones they're unmanned, so it's a.
So unmanned meaning that there's not a pilot on the drone or in the drone. So we have a drone unit that will operate these drones. So the sheriff's office would be the one that manages this. This will be for the entire county though. This won't be for just, we currently have them in several of our contracted areas. This will be for a countywide deployment.
Thank you. Commissioner Powell?
Is these the same drones that we'll be using with the bikes? The dirt bikes? Is these the same drones we're using?
So Pontiac has purchased their own drones. So it's a separate drone for the city of Pontiac. But yes, the idea is so not so much each individual community having their drones. We have one that we man with the sheriff's office. That's what we're exploring right now. But yes, that would be one of the purposes for it. In her case,
Yeah, so I was just gonna let my colleagues know. So it's getting warm in the city of Pontiac, and I don't know anywhere in the other county, but I'm not saying it's not happening. We have a high number of dirt bikes being driven through the city of Pontiac, and we know that there's laws related to where they're not supposed to be on the road and stuff like that. And so I've already proactively asked Under Sheriff Willis to talk to sheriff so that we could get ahead of and do PSA or something to educate the community about them. A lot of parents are buying them in my city and they don't know that they're not legal and their kids is on them, and it's just a big thing that we gotta get ahead of. And we host a sheriff's, SRT meeting, it's a sheriff relations teams meeting with Pontiac community stakeholders. And, it was told to us that they're investing in better drone systems, all that, to track these individuals on the bikes and these drones can be in the air longer. So eventually, once they track them to their stop location, then they gotta go to next steps or whatever that look like, right? So I just want us to get ahead of it, and I just wanted to let my colleagues know. So hopefully, I think it's a PSA that we all can use. I know some other areas have more open area to where they can ride them with no problem, but it's a problem in my city right now, so we gotta get a hold of it.
Yeah, and you can imagine, pursuing those types of vehicles are very, very difficult. We don't want a patrol car running through the city on top of a mini bike or any kind of ATV riding through the city. So we deploy drones for those types of issues, which help us out a great deal.
And the only reason why I brought it up is because we've had some incidents take place over the weekend, and I just wanted to be on record that I am known about, I've been included, I've been debriefed, I know what's going on, and I'm just happy that we're trying to figure this out. But we gotta get ahead of it, because it's getting warm fast, so, thank you.
Commissioner Erickson Galt.
Thank you, Chair. I like in principle the idea of using drones. The name Flock brings me some pause. It has gotten a lot of bad PR, largely regarding its data collection and distribution of that data to its other contract organizations, in particular ICE. My concern is, will these drones be collecting data, and if so, who is storing this data and controlling it?
Yeah, so we have currently, I don't know how to approach this. So currently with ours, they're called Skydio drones or whatever, we have the repository for that data. So it doesn't go anywhere, it doesn't get sold, it doesn't get used, it's used for evidentiary purposes and criminal matters only. Our agreement with Flock would mirror that. So Flock's not gonna use, even though they maintain the data, they're not gonna use, not legally anyway, any information that third drones that we have contracts with, they can't use any of that data without us saying, oh yeah, turn it over to this person, which we would never do.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, would you prompt the vote, please?
You have 5 yeas and 0 nays.
Motion is approved, thank you.
Thank
For
you.
your support.
Our next item is from our Safer Communities Ad Hoc Committee recommendations. It's a request from the Oakland County Sheriff's Office, Oakland Technical Campus School Resource Officer Unit for the purchase of 4 safe gun safe lockers. I have a motion by Commissioner Spiz, I have support from Commissioner Erickson Galt. So I'm on the Safer Communities. We did approve this unanimously at our committee. But everyone will be able to hear from Sergeant Tom Pfeiffer and our Under Sheriff.
Thank you for letting me be here today. Basically, I'm returning at your request to answer any more questions that might have come up regarding it. One of the questions that came up was, could I get a better handle on how many of our communities, not just from the Sheriff's Department, but outside the Sheriff's Department, have them? I did submit an Excel spreadsheet that I think most of you will have access to. But when you look at the spreadsheet data that I was able to collect, it's overwhelmingly yeses from the majority of the communities in the county that have them. And the communities that don't have them for a few reasons. I can tell you, Oxford does not have them because their school board chose to not have them. And Troy does not have them because they chose to not have them. Beyond that, any of the other no's that came about, either from the Sheriff's Department or the county, were no's that came about because there's financial reasons that they don't have them. There is just not been any talk of it between the police department agency and the school boards themselves. Or they don't have a school officer in their school, so there's no need to have a rifle locker in the office in the school. We have agencies that have liaisons outside of our own that are detectives that work with the schools, but they're not technically in the schools each day. So that's what the other no's were. But the overwhelming Oakland County side of things was the majority of people do have them or are in the process of getting them, which all that data, again, rather than reading it all to you, it is there for you to see. The other question that came up was what is considered the best practice? There really isn't a listed best practice in the county. So the way that I interpreted that, doing research and talking to all these different agencies, the best practice is gonna come down to each school board, administration, and the law enforcement agency themselves. Obviously, we support it at the Sheriff's Department. We have several of these lockers already distributed in our schools. We think it's the best practice, and like I said when I was here before, I'm a firm believer in having a tool that we hopefully never have to use versus needing that tool and not having it available when I need to use it, especially with some of the events we've currently seen just in the last 2 weeks alone. So this is definitely a tool that I pray each day I don't have to utilize and that my SROs don't have to utilize. But I also want these tools available to them because our main job is keeping kids and staff and citizens safe within our buildings. And if this is the tool they need to do that, I wanna make sure they have every opportunity to have it. And I can tell you Oakland Schools themselves has greenlit this program. That documentation has been given to you also. They really want it as well. But the finance part of it is because we are 100% contracted by Oakland Schools. Therefore, they're already paying a lot of money to have our services and gun lockers are not part of that. So when I was approached by the committee for equipment that I really think is important for our SROs to have, this is definitely the one thing that came to my mind because we had worked on it before and the finances were the reason we couldn't get it because I don't have a budget in my my role with the Oakland Schools, if that makes sense. So if you have any other questions, I'm happy to take them. And it's been an honor being here able to present it to you and I was very happy when they voted it through in the last meeting, so.
Thank you. Commissioner Spiz?
Thank you, Madam Chair. To start off, I'm in full support of this. Some clarification just based on the data that's in the summary. So we're looking to buy 4. It's for Commerce Township, Pontiac, Springfield Township, and Royal Oak.
Yeah, so the way that it works is I work for the Oakland School District and I'm in charge of the Oakland Technical School campuses.
Okay.
So each one of those campuses is located in those communities. Does that make sense?
Now it does, because I was
Yes.
trying to cross-reference.
That's why it's a separate, yeah, it's a separate contract from what you might have if you're in Commerce Township working with one of our other school districts. Or in Pontiac, they have their own contract with us. Mine is through the Oakland Schools.
All right, I'm good, thank you.
Any other questions? Would you prompt the vote, please?
I can't even see it. That's my buddy though. He's my buddy.
No.
Okay, you have 5 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion carries, thank you.
Thank you very much.
We are moving on to a presentation. Our presentation is from Oakland County Department of Health Services Agency Board.
That's good, thank you. Okay.
Welcome. And I don't
Thank
know
you.
everybody's name, so you'll have to introduce yourself to us. Yeah.
I'm Dr. Renee Dudley, and I am the president of the Oakland County Department of Health and Human Services Board.
Thank you.
I am Attorney Cherie Ross and I am the Vice Chair for the Oakland County MDHHS Board.
Belinda Poster, formerly Arbogast, state appointee.
And both Cherie and I are sort of recommended and elected by the commissioners. And so we represent Oakland County commissioners. And so we're really excited about that. And Ms. Poster is also appointed by the state. And so one of the things, okay, that's up there. You know who we are. And the reason why Belinda's name is not there is that she has just been appointed. And so when I had to turn this in, it's just there is blank. One of the things we really wanted you to know is, one, about the Department of Health and Human Services, any questions that you may have. We also have our directors here. Tom and Tanisha are our directors. Oakland County is what's called a bifurcated county in the health and human services system, meaning that there's a director for cash assistance and there's a director for child welfare. And so the board then has a responsibility to interview for those positions, for those director positions. We don't have the final word, but we certainly have significant influence if we really have some strong feelings about the persons that are interviewing for the position. Tanisha Carter is our Director of Cash Assistance, which includes Family Independence, commonly known as FIP, Food Assistance, Medical Assistance, Child Development, and Care. Tom is our Child Welfare Director over foster care, protective services, adoptions, foster home licensing, and juvenile justice. We also have Carrie Cosell, who's over our Aging and Adult Services Agency, where she's responsible for adult protective services, independent living services, adult foster care, and homes for the aged. The duties of the board is that we represent the constituents in Oakland County. We review and we vote on contracts with recommendations addressing concerns. Citizens can contact us directly, and that we can then voice those concerns that they may have. Commissioners have contacted us directly, and we've certainly taken those concerns, and they have been hopefully been addressed and addressed well by our directors. We interview for the county directors, as I said. We review the delivery of services between MDHHS and public and private agencies. There are a number of private agencies that the county funds, that the state funds, and those reviews are held by us. We don't have final word on them, but if we have concerns, we certainly express those concerns and ask for those concerns to be clarified. And we advocate on behalf of the Oakland County citizens. We also oversee the Child Care Fund. Tom is responsible for submitting a budget to the county, and that half of those funds that are expended are reimbursed back to the county by the state. The budgets are reviewed by us, and our director then monitors them to make sure that we're in compliance and in line. The next slide that's there, I really want you to pay close attention to. Over $1 billion come into Oakland County through the Department of Health and Human Services. And these are, except for I have it highlighted in yellow, the latest numbers we have are 2024. The 2024 number for Medicaid and Healthy Michigan have not come in yet. And so once we get those, I can update this. But technically, we expect that it probably may be a little bit higher than in 2022. But over $1 billion come into the county from Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. So one of the things is just being aware. We would also love to have a representative from the county, one of the county commissioners, to come to our board meetings. Right now, we have to meet in person. We meet in person, I think it's the third Tuesday at about 1:30. And typically we're in one of the offices that's here in the county. Other than that, one of the other things, we are also mandated by law to exist. Every county has a board, and we're mandated by Act 280 of 1939 state legislature. Additionally, what's also mandated is Michigan County Social Services Association. It is mandated by law to represent all 83 counties and consolidate their concerns. And so we are very active with the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. I am the recent past president, and Cherie is on our advisory. She is the advisory chair for our district. And we participate strongly because it's also a way to advocate on behalf of the constituents in our county, one, but also for our staff. If there are any concerns that staff have, we are in a better position to express those concerns, and that it is also required by law that the Department of Health and Human Services has to meet with us. And so we meet monthly with them to say, these are the concerns we see in our district, within our county, with our constituents and with our staff. And our question is, what are you gonna do about it? And they are obligated by law to answer us. So it sort of certainly makes sure that we are acting in an advisory capacity, and it definitely makes sure that the voices and the concerns within our district and within our county are heard. So my last slide is to invite you. We had our legislative conference that on the 17th, where we met with our representatives in Lansing to talk about a number of the concerns that have come up and a number of the bills that MCSSA supports. We can always send you those. We are sending you our minutes, and hopefully you will have them or have access to them. And you're always invited to come to the meeting when we have them. Our next annual conference is in Frankenmuth on September from the 14th to the 16th. And you will also, we have listen and learns. One of the one of the trainings that is coming up is going to be sponsored by the FBI Detroit Citizens Academy Alumni Association, and it's gonna be on elder fraud. And it's going to be at one of our district offices in, where is it? The district office in Madison Heights. So if you are interested in coming, please do, just let us know. Let them know that you're one of the commissioners, but the FBI, one of the special agents for the FBI will be doing that presentation. So with that, I know I only have 10 minutes, bam. Any questions?
Thank you. I'd be happy to attend your board meetings. That's something we would discuss as a board because we presently don't have a liaison to attend the board meeting, so we would appoint one, but it does sound like all the commissioners are invited to attend.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Commissioner Powell?
Okay, so I'm one of them commissioners that call them all the time, so. So thank you, cause we got a lot of stuff straight.
That's right.
Is there any way you eventually can send us the director's contact information? And so these subject matters, we can just contact them directly now. So, or should I still, as a commissioner?
No, and I think I did,
Well, this is why I'm asking, cause the young lady, I'm not gonna say her name, but the young lady that has been instrumental in assisting us, I didn't know if I was asking for too much or if it wasn't her job to be the connector at least for the residents. And I just felt like I had got a little pushback. We did get it rectified, but I just wanna make sure that if anybody, I am contacting the right staff, cause I ain't trying to put no more on any staff member, because I know this a conflictual world dealing with our community and the individuals and the back and forth, and because I serve as that liaison and keep the resident accountable, cause they sometimes don't be getting the paperwork and stuff in. So it's a little bit of both. So I was just wondering if this is accurate, or just give us protocol, or if I'm doing it right, I just continue to do it right. But I was so excited to see these people with these subject matters.
They are exactly, we can certainly, I don't think there's a problem giving you the contact information. And you can always call anybody that's on the board. You have my cell number and you certainly use it. And that's okay, because one, it allows us to, we don't do confidential information. If your constituent has a concern, and that is addressed to our directors. One, they have the responsibility to address it, but they may not be able to get back to you and say, okay, this is what happened.
Right.
As long as you're understanding that, they have no problem with you getting their contact information.
Yeah, usually with the staff, I just be wanting to be able to close the concern on my side, and it got resolved, it did, or we're working with them. Usually that's what the staff tell me, and I am in knowledge of the rules, and they can't share things, But this has been an issue with the constituents. I guess now they don't have a point caseworker. This is what the community's telling me. They don't have a point caseworker. They gotta call a 1-800 number, then get assistance, and that is a whole process. But I've been hearing on the internal side, that's a process, right? So it's more so just encouraging the resident to pack their patience and just go through the process, and then I just kinda stay on them to stay in the midst of the process.
I don't know, Tanisha or Tom, if you wanna sort of address, it is a process.
Okay.
But it's also a process that if there's any issues or any concerns that come up, you can call us or you can call either our directors directly.
Well, at least I know not to hand them off. It's just putting them in touch with that staffer, and then they'll take it from there.
Right. Our directors then will know who would handle that case and what the responsibilities would be, and then they would then work at it from that angle. If it comes to my attention or any of the board members' attention, on our agenda is what happened. How was it resolved?
Got it, okay.
So when you said that it brought something to thought, one or two things. Maybe you can have a town hall meeting within your district and have an educational something go on where you can invite your constituents. Or we can try to see if we could do that as a listen and learn subject matter that then people can tune in and hear those, because I think what I hear you saying, which is, you know, there's a lot of moving parts as the department is making some changes, and the workers are learning as well as everybody's learning, right? And I think that that would be a very valuable piece, is for some way how we connect with that community so that you all will know, you know, maybe there's a listen and learn. And the one thing that I wanted to say is often I find myself saying at the legislative conferences that we have, that it would be even more valuable to have our county commissioners there, as you can listen to across. So this 3-member board that you're looking at is in every county. And so we get the opportunity as board members to collaborate, network with, and talk with all the other boards when we come together at these annual meetings, and we can hear what's working in Wayne County, what's not working in Wayne County, and the best practices, if you will. And I noticed that our for Oakland County, we're really proud, and so it's an honor to serve you. We're like, you know, we're in there, like, we're, you know, all we care about is Oakland County, which is not a good thing. But
We do care about
we care about
other
the other ones,
counties.
but we just
We know
make
what you mean.
sure. Yeah. We like to be the set the bar, if you will, for what the expectations are, and to make sure that our community of people are represented and reflected in what we do. So this would, I think that on an empowerment piece, that if you all could come or some way get this, to listen, learn, however, maybe this is the new thing we do for our constituents, is to make sure that they understand this new process, and understand how to fill these documents, whatever it is, that might be something that we can.
Oh, yeah, I'm all on it.
Alright, we'll make it
You know, for
happen.
Pontiac, I'm all on it, cause I get a lot of, you know, I get calls, but I've been in a constituent service place where I know how to kind of troubleshoot some of them. But yeah, it's just been a challenge. And then the only other thing I had the breakdown of this, of our county programs and all of that, is there any way that could be broke down by district? Your program breakdown funding, could that be broke down by district or?
Because this comes from the state, we can do Oakland County.
Okay, that's fine.
Now, you asking too much, and so the answer is no.
Thank you.
But if we can, I will
I'm okay. No, don't, it's not that.
It took me whatever to get this, so.
No, man, listen, don't worry about it, I was just asking, and then I wanted to just make clear, or if you could send the commissioners information, but more so it's me, in regards to the worker requirement. Or even if you just send me the email so I can go look at it, the work requirements now, under the new administration.
Yeah.
Cause I have a lot of, I don't know if y'all know this, but I have a tax practice, but I deal with a lot of single mother, you know, that type of climate. And I need to educate them so they know they gotta go to work, or they snatching and declining their services, and I know it's happening.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a work requirement for them to keep their food assistance, all of that now.
Tanisha, you have like a top of head, what the report cards are?
Okay, perfect, yeah, thank you. All right, I'm
Gotcha.
done, thank you. Thank y'all for all your help, in my district at least, thank you.
Any other questions?
My comment is, I'm surprised, according to this, 38% of residents living in Oakland County receive assistance. I did not imagine it was that high.
And it was probably higher during COVID, you know, where there was a lot of need, et cetera. And I think the thing that's really important is for us to be very vigilant about what our constituents need and to making sure that they get it. Elder fraud is a huge concern for us right now, and that's why we have the FBI coming in to, you know, we've got all of our workers in, all of the workers in Oakland County, and then we invited Macomb County and Wayne County to come and to listen and to understand what the fraud is.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay,
Can you share that eventually send us that with the FBI presentation?
it's this Thursday.
Oh, man, I ain't gonna be able to know.
It's this Thursday, but we hope to have another one
Okay.
for Macomb County, but you're.
I can still travel.
You can still drive,
Okay,
right.
thank
can
you
still
so
come.
much.
You are welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So we need a motion and support to receive and file this report. I have a motion by Commissioner Powell, support from Commissioner Ginzel. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we have the presentation on record. Our next item is communications. There are 3 items under communications. One is a grant application to the Michigan State Police for the 2027 High Intensity Drug Trafficking Area Program. The next item is a Crisis Response Unit 2025 Annual Report. And the third item is our Animal Shelter Disposition Report for February 2026. Who would like to make? I have a motion by Commissioner Ginzel and support from Commissioner Taylor. Are there any questions regarding the 3 items? All right, Ellen, do you want to prompt the vote or what?
I haven't read the big
Oh, would you prompt the vote for communications?
It says recommended board.
I just corrected that.
Yeah, okay, all right. Just receiving your file.
Yep, we have 6 yeas, 0 nays.
All right, our communications are approved. We move on to our district court recommendations. There's 1 item, a grant acceptance from the State Court Administrative Office for the fiscal year 2026 Operation Drive Program. Who would like to make a motion? We have a motion by Commissioner Taylor, support from Commissioner Spitz. And we have Alex, you're presenting on this? Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, thanks for having me here. So the 52nd District Court has applied for an Operation Drive grant, for those of you who are not familiar. The program is already in place in the 52-3 and 52-4 District Courts. It started actually in the 44th District Court in Royal Oak with Judge Meineke, and we wanted to jump on board with the great success he's had there. So a great deal of our cases that come through, I mean, we have, as you know, it's the people's court, so we have misdemeanors, felonies, everything starts at district court. But a great majority of our misdemeanors have driving issues. A lot of them are suspended for various reasons, maybe unpaid tickets. They kind of get in the system and it's very difficult to get out when there's money involved, and then you can't get insurance, and it's just like a big circle, right? And then there's other people that maybe have gotten drunk drivings in the past and maybe didn't have the money for their substance abuse evaluation or to be able to go in front of Secretary of State. This is sort of a bipartisan issue in the sense that we really all want people to be licensed properly and insured properly because it affects everybody, and it affects those that are unable to get what they need. So the DRIVE program that we asked for these funds for, $500,000 is what we've been granted, which is awesome. We plan to use those funds to help those people get out of the system and get licensed properly. So it's an 11-month program. So we would accept anyone who would be able to possibly get their license back in an 11-month period. So this would not be for drivers who are completely revoked from multiple drunk drivings. Those people, those are hard suspensions we can't do anything about. But anyone else who maybe just needs those evaluations, needs assistance from an attorney, maybe we can contact the other courts and see how we can maybe reduce some of their fines, because a lot of times they have late fees and other things associated that we could ask for reduction. We would supply them with an attorney. MIDC has been on board with us. We have all of our prosecutors on board with us as well. So everyone has built a team together to support these people. We can give them bus passes and Uber, just to keep them driving legal, prevent them from coming to court without a license. We're gonna do reviews on Zoom and see what we can do to see how many people we can get back driving legal.
Thank you. I think it's valuable and important, and hopefully through this program, they understand the rules of driving, including bus safety, because people who don't have a license, who didn't take driver's ed, may not be aware of you stop when the bus has their stop sign out.
There are a lot of, we see a lot of things that sometimes I'm terrified to drive, actually.
Thank you.
So we'd like to be able to accept these $500,000 to develop the program.
Any comments or questions? Would you prompt the vote?
You have 6 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. We're always
Thank
happy to accept money.
Yes, thank you as always.
All right, next item is from Emergency Management. It's another grant acceptance from the state of Michigan State Police for the 2025 Emergency Management Performance Program. I have a motion by Commissioner Fisk. I have support from Commissioner Ginzel. And welcome.
Hello, Rob Seeley, the Manager of Emergency Management. So this is the 54th year of this grant, this Emergency Management Program grant. When it was first created, it was created to pay about 50% of the salary of the emergency manager for the jurisdiction, whatever that jurisdiction was, county or city. Currently, it is, this year it paid $14,956, which is a reduction in $2,662 from last year. As time is going on, the amount of money that the federal government is giving to the state is getting smaller, and the amount that the state has to take to maintain their program has increased. So this grant amount is getting smaller every year. And so this year, that's what it is $14,956 that we're accepting. We don't do an application for this grant. This is just an acceptance. Usually it comes in January because of all the things that are going on in the federal government, got delayed a little bit.
Thank you. Comments or questions? All right, would you prompt the vote?
You have 6 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you very much.
Motion carries, thank you. That was nice and easy. Our next three items are from Health and Human Services. The first is a grant acceptance for the 2026 Medical Marijuana Operation and Oversight Program. The next item is a creation of 2 special revenue part-time non-eligible public health nurse 2 positions. And the last item is an amendment from Neighborhood and Housing Development for the 2025 Community Development Block Grant Home Investment Partnership and Emergency Solutions Grant Program. I have a motion by Commissioner Erickson Dalton, support from Commissioner Taylor. Welcome, Khadijah.
Thank you. Good morning. And I think my counterpart probably will start. She's here right behind me on the screen, so.
Hi, nice to see everyone this morning. I can start with our grant award for the Marijuana Operation and Oversight Grant, if that's fine with you all. As a reminder, the timing for this grant is a little odd. It started on November 11th, 2025, and it runs through September 1st, 2026. So we will hit the ground running should this be approved. The amount that we are awarded this year is $436,716, which is a slight increase, about a $4,000 increase from last year. We will continue along with similar programming where this funding pays for a portion of a public health educator's time and focuses on impaired driving, pregnancy and breastfeeding, youth use, and safe storage. We purchased a lot of lock boxes and locking bags. These have been a hit throughout the past few years, so we will continue with that. We have budgeted approximately 12,000 lock boxes and locking bags, and we will be hitting bless you. And working also on a paid advertisement campaign as well.
Thank you. I'm gonna refer to Commissioner Powell because I know this is an area of interest and she has questions for you.
I'm so happy that y'all ordering some more lock boxes. Those are a hit and families are loving them. So thank you. And I'm gonna be your #1 commissioner and partnering with you to get them out some more in Pontiac because they are a hit. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. No, I'm so happy because really it's a difficult message when we're talking about marijuana use. And so angling a little bit where it's like safe storage is really more palatable. I love it. It's been an amazing campaign.
Yeah.
Thank you for your support.
And how do you distribute the lock boxes and bags?
At every outreach fair that we go to, we hit up law enforcement, we hit up, let me see, oh, I have a whole list here, elected officials, the juvenile justice system professionals, youth assistance staff. We distribute them in WIC, community nursing, harm reduction, in our clinic, and all of our outreaches.
And how do elected officials obtain the lock boxes?
I would be happy to bring them to you at a BOC meeting. If you just let me know and about how many you could use, I can can get them to you.
Thank you, I'll send you an email.
Yeah.
Commissioner Hall?
How soon can we request them?
Okay.
We don't have any left from last year. We definitely gave them all out. So once this gets approved, goes through full board approval, and we have the money, we'll buy our supply again.
Perfect.
So give me about a month.
Yep, but I'm gonna send my email now.
I'll put you on the list.
So we've had a little bit of conversation while you were talking to Commissioner Powell. So would it be possible for each commissioner to receive 10?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So you could deliver that too.
I didn't get 200 so
Well,
far in my day.
Well, we're starting with 10.
That's good.
If you
But
deliver
I be
them
having
here
events
to
and
our
stuff. I got stuff
auditorium,
going
that
on.
would be
so-
fine.
No, like I be hosting
All
stuff
right,
where I
thank you.
partner with stuff. Yeah, so that's why
Get them out.
that's the only reason why I was work related.
All right, any other
Shout.
questions on this item?
I'm not gonna keep on my
Okay.
like Kanye.
Then we're
I
gonna,
need one.
Commissioner Powell, we're gonna move on to our next two items.
Thank you, Chair.
Let's move it up. You do a test real quick.
All right. So the next item is our request to create two part-time positions using our Local Community Stabilization Act funding, LCSA funding. These are part-time positions that are nurses that will work in the communicable disease unit that are specifically liaisons to the long-term care facilities. I have spoken to you all about this before. If you remember, when we lost COVID funding, that was specific to infection prevention. These are positions that we lost when we lost that funding. And so we've really been able to work our LCSA budget and carve out the $80,000 that's required for these two part-time positions because they are so essential to our workforce. The capacity that they're contributing to our team and the ability to be able to support our long-term care facilities and congregate care facilities, it adds a lot to what we're doing, and we're prioritizing these positions, and I'm asking for your approval today.
Thank you. Comments or questions? All right, our last item is an amendment to the housing department, and we have Kyle and Khadijah. Are you here to talk
Yeah.
about that? All right, thank you.
Yes, so we're requesting approval of our amendment. We right now have before you $2,541,360 of program income from an old program, Neighborhood Stabilization Program, dating back to 2008. That program income, as it's come in, we need to convert that over to our Community Development Block Grant. And so we did come for approval before you all in October for that conversion, and now we're just coming before you with the amendment to allocate those funds towards Community Development Block Grant eligible activities, which does require amendment to the 2005 Annual Action Plan where those funds have been added, so.
So these funds would need to be spent by what date?
So we're beholden to an April 2026 deadline to spend the funds in style. And unfortunately, we were impacted by the shutdown because we had to wait for some sign-offs and approvals, and that was delayed, as you all know, just going through that process as well. So we have a plan in place, and we've been very proactively working on how we will still meet this in the next 30 days to get a lot of this money appropriately out the door and spent. And so we're really excited about one of the rental rehab projects that we have in Troy, which will support rehabbing units of senior housing. And so we aren't waiting for this. We've been very proactive to make sure the projects that we have are moving and ready. We also have allocated funds to our home improvement program, which we badly needed. And so even though that money won't be spent by April, it will continue to support the home rehab work that we do and the home improvement work we are doing in the community. So this has been a kind of a tricky thing, converting these dollars over, knowing that you still have to meet your timeliness ratio and there's all these other requirements and then a couple shutdowns, complicate things as well.
I have 40 days to spend $2 million. So one is the rental rehab in Troy. The others, you won't be able to spend that amount in the CBDG program. What, is there another program you're spending the monies on?
It all will have to be spent through CDBG, and so we're going to be able to move a large chunk of the money. It won't all be spent by April. So we're working on our plan just with our communities where we've been making sure we're providing a lot of technical assistance to them each month for spend down, moving the money just as we always do for eligible activities. And so we're working very aggressively to make sure that, they don't really care about if it's this pot, it's just the whole grant has to meet that 1.5 timeliness ratio. So we've been aggressively working on the dollars we already had approved from our annual action plan to get that moved. And so just had a meeting right before I came here with the team. So we are moving on it and doing everything we can. Now, Kyle, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit to the rehab work for Troy. That will be a large piece of it, and they are ready, I believe, to submit some of their invoices and everything as soon as this goes through the approval process. Did you want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'm knee deep in spreadsheets right now, actually looking at this specific project and the eligible cost that will be reimbursing to get the project ready to go to be actually renovated. It's 297 units, as Khadija said. It's called 920 on the park, and we're just working on the final contracts for that and just confirming eligible expenses. But this will be a complete rehabilitation of 297 units in Troy, just off of 14 Mile. Very excited to be able to do this for our senior residents. We had the opportunity to go tour the project, and it is very nice to see that it was well maintained, but we can provide energy efficiency solutions, provide lower costs for maintenance and upkeep of the building, and extend the useful life of the project for another 30 years. So very excited. It's similar to some of the other rehab work that we've done with our CDBG funds, and hopefully we continue to receive even more to be able to do work like this.
So the 920 on the park on John R.
Yes.
Yeah.
Commissioner Gensel?
Yeah, if I could, I just want to make sure I'm understanding. So it sounds like there was a pot of money in a different program. It's coming into what was CDBG. So the communities that participate in CDBG have the opportunity to obtain more money, provided they're meeting the requirements, have a project and all that stuff. So I think my community, Orient, still participates in it. And are your teams reaching out to the participating communities to let them know that there's additional money that they can potentially access, or?
So yes, we did the whole public hearing and we did our Citizens Advisory Council where we run everything through in the fall. The projects, we're allocating money to our projects that already had open activities or they could spend the money. So it wasn't like we didn't go back and say, hey, this is open to all 52 communities, because some of our communities they haven't spent their money in years. And so they're sitting on a very high ratio and they're having a hard time moving some of their projects. So we looked at projects that meet basically the guidelines of what residents in our survey and our assessment said were priorities, which was housing, homelessness services, senior housing, accessibility. All of those ranked really high out of the 1,600 surveys. And so we were really thoughtful to make sure that we were looking at where we could allocate.
So it's not an open pot of incremental money. It's an incremental money that's targeted towards projects that were already defined that meet your specifications. Okay.
And it's really program income. So it's treated similar to like the program income that we come before you all every year with our grant. Say, we anticipate about $1.5 million of program income coming back from the home improvement program, and then we always kind of take that money and allocate it back towards home improvement or something else that is eligibility.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Commissioner Singal?
But as I understand it, you needed something that was ready to go.
Yes, that is correct.
So
yes.
Timing of
Yes, that timeliness ratio is hanging over our heads. Yes.
So in the end, how much money will we be returning or not utilizing?
Oh, I plan on us utilizing all of our money. Yes, oh, absolutely. Yes.
We like to hear
We're
that.
very, yes, every penny and in the way that, like you say, that will serve the community in a high impact way.
Thank
So,
you.
Yes.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? So we have 3 items. Would you prompt the vote?
Give 6 yeas and 0 nays.
All right, all the items are approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We are at public comment. Is there anyone from the public wishing to comment to this committee? You would come to the end of the table, state your name, community, and you have 3 minutes.
Hi, friends.
Hello.
Chris Barnett from Orion Township. I promise I won't get gavel today.
It's early.
It's early. I don't wanna use 3 minutes either. I sent you all an email at 12:05 a.m. Did you receive it?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. I'm asking, I'm begging, for some response. To say that we're frustrated is an understatement. I'm talking with the 11 other chief elected officials that represent the 12 sheriff's contracts. In Orion, it's a $500,000 difference. What I'm gonna ask my residents for, a $500,000 difference. So that's a big tax difference. And what I need to ask our residents for 4 years for a police millage. And what we're asking for, I'm shocked it hasn't happened yet. I've been promised by Executive Coulter. I've talked in person with Chair Woodward and Gwen, lots of you. I don't wanna fight. We just need the information to do our jobs. And we don't have it still. If you look at the email I sent 1 week ago at midnight, that was after our board meeting, I did get an email from CFO Leffler at 5:30. That's when our millage workshop started that day, that you guys heard me give public comment to your regular meeting last week or 2 weeks ago. But that information was incomplete. This is Ashley, she's our budget and procurement director for the township. I've even put in the email, if I'm too much of a lightning rod, I don't need to be at the table. It can be Ashley from my team. But you are the leaders of the county. And you are the ones that are able to convene the people to sit at this table or that table or some table. And the people need to be Brian and Cheryl from fiscal. Some of you, if you have a sheriff's contract in your district, you should be at the table. And then Gaia, who was just sitting here an hour ago, needs to be at that table. We just need the information. So I'm not yelling, I'm not threatening anyone. I have 2 board meetings left to approve ballot language for a tax increase in Orion Township. I have 2 board meetings to get that language approved by my board and approved by the county to be on the August election. I can't do that today. It's a $500,000 difference. That's a huge tax difference in our community. It's $1.3 million, the 2 differences over the 4 years. If you have questions about that, read my email from 12 hours ago exactly, or the email from last week. We have not gotten any direct responses, and I have to come to these meetings. I don't wanna come to these meetings. I don't wanna come to your meetings. The last thing I'll say, and I lied because I said I was gonna use all my time, the record has changed in this room. In my research, the information that has been presented in this room, someone has changed the historic record. So, I don't know who that is, but you all should be asking these questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Gindel.
You get 3 minutes. I get 3 minutes. Just so for this committee, I mean, I think trying to get this sorted out has been a bigger challenge than I anticipated. I mentioned to you, all of you, that, you know, I was working with Chair Woodward to try to work with Brian to get these things resolved. So we met in January. The to-dos at that point were expect the communities to get true-up reports the week of February 23rd. Brian and team to engage OCSD to review true-ups and align on going forward OCSD rates before community or commissioner engagement, so that we could say the sheriff's office and the administration are aligned on the true-ups and they're aligned on the rates going forward. Brian and team to hold meeting with commissioners to review true-ups going forward rates prior to the reports going out to communities, so we'd all be informed. Brian and team to schedule and hold Zoom call with all communities to receive true-up reports prior to true-up reports going out, so that we'd have the opportunity to explain what was coming and what was to send. I think there was clearly a disconnect in the way that the team was able to execute that. I know I've been working with a number of folks, and others have too, other commissioners have too, Chairman Woodward and others.
Brian, to his credit, has, in my opinion, stepped up and gotten more involved in the last, I would say, 10 days. But ultimately, this is fiscal services, being able to deliver what they said they were going to do with credibility and confidence, and being aligned with Oakland County Sheriff so that we don't have two departments in the community saying two different things. That doesn't help anybody. So we'll continue to work on it, happy to take anyone else's pressure points that they can exert. But ultimately, our fiscal services team needs to deliver this information correctly in a more timely basis so that we're all informed. And when we met in January, I followed up with an email with to-do steps. Everybody agreed to them. It's now March, it's not done. Like at my work, I mean, I'd probably be fired. So I'm just wanting everybody to have a visibility into the work that's been going on here. And it's a struggle. And I think Brian's working hard to get it straightened out, and I've seen him much more engaged in the last few weeks. But ultimately, communities still don't necessarily have all the information that they need.
Thank you for being the point person on this. I know in other matters regarding fiscal services, we, as a board, have said we need to provide timely information to our communities, not surprise them 7-10 days before any matter. And we, in the past, have been assured that, yes, we learned our lesson, we're going to change. It didn't happen with the second item, so yeah, I tend to agree with you, three and you're out. Commissioner Powell?
So if we had to say right now, collectively, what's the next step right now? Is it the meeting with the commissioners and the community leads? Supervisor, like, is that the next step right now, since they are already behind? What is the next step?
Yeah, the next step is the communities that need accuracy. So right now, the rough ballpark is 8 to 10% increase per year is what communities should expect, right? But that range is still tough to be able to set a specific millage rate. You could go with the upper limit and fight the battle in year one that I'm raising rates by, whatever, 1x, 2x, 3x. And then you could levy a smaller millage in year 2 and year 3, but it puts you in a battle that you may not need to have in year 1 if you're a local elected official, right? So to me, I'm still not clear if the true-up reports are actually correct, because my understanding is that some of the stuff was estimated versus actuals. The true-up's supposed to be actuals, so we know what it actually cost us to provide the service. And then I'm still not clear, I'm not confident that Fiscal has sat down with GAEA and Oakland County Sheriff and have gone through the rates so that both parties are sitting there shaking their heads up and down saying, yeah, overall, these rates are right and we all agree to them, right? As a commissioner, I don't know how I can even go forward and get out in front of this if I'm not confident that the sheriff's office and the administration are aligned on the true-ups, what it's actually really costing us to provide the service. And then based on that, what our going forward rates need to be based on projected increase, union contract increases, et cetera.
But if the true ups and all that is if this eventually comes to, okay, there was some accuracy, then we can all just move along, right?
If Brian or Cheryl or whoever is ultimately responsible, which in my mind is Brian, and I believe he agrees, if they're sitting here today at the table with GAEA sitting next to them telling the commissioners that they've gone through the true-ups, they're aligned, and they all also aligned on the going forward rates, I'm good. We might not like the answer.
Right.
But we're confident that both parties have worked through it, they've done the work, and that we can be assured that these are what the rates are.
So my next question is, do you feel that there is some avoidance in that conversation, and why do you feel that way? And I'm asking for a reason.
I don't know if there's avoidance. I think Brian is definitely taking it on, and I give him credit for it. But, at some point, we need to get stuff done, and it needs to be right.
Got it, okay.
Right.
All right, thank you.
Commissioner Erickson Galt?
How many other communities, obviously your township's affected, are in this situation where they are scrambling to make a determination about budgeting and necessary requests for increase in millage? Because I know some of the communities already have a public safety millage of some sort that more or less covers their expenses. But I was just curious if we have an idea of how many other communities.
Yeah, I don't. I think the most urgent ones are the ones that need to go out to them for a millage in '26. The other ones, even if the true ups aren't accurate and our cost to serve is more than what they're paying, that's not gonna change during the
There's
duration of the
budgeting.
contract. So they,
Right.
you know, they can carry forward the current run rate budget
For
rates.
instance, Rochester Hills is in the midst of its budget right now. They're gonna
Yeah,
have to have
and
a
so
budget in a
if
couple
they're in the
months.
midst of the budget, it shouldn't be as critical because they should plan to have the ongoing rates of what they paid. Because even if our cost to serve is higher, we're not charging them the higher rate in the middle of a contract. They'll have to deal with that when their contract's up. But for those that have to go out for a millage, I mean, that's where the urgency is.
I get it.
Okay,
Commissioner Taylor?
gotcha.
So from what I'm hearing, has anybody, or can you say, has a meeting been established or set for fiscal and sheriff's department, Gaia being the one, to meet and talk? Because if they're not gonna sit down and meet and talk, where does that leave us?
Yeah, I can't answer that. I need to follow back up with Dave Woodward. I mean, Dave's been very involved, Brian's been very involved.
Okay.
Everybody's committing and saying they want to do it, but I haven't seen evidence that it's occurred.
To my understanding, and it sounds like I'm a little behind here.
Yeah.
But to my understanding, the numbers were good. The misunderstanding was because communities didn't have enough notice to prepare for this.
I may stand corrected, but I don't believe that fiscal services and OCSD spent adequate time going through those true ups before they went out to communities.
Okay, so with our magic wand and you agreeing to be the point person, you'll follow up on that.
I'll follow up, and I'm going back to the steps and timeline that we put in place in
Can
January.
you share that with me?
Thank you.
And now Brian did call me about a week and a half ago, and we talked about changing some of the steps. As long as we got to the same end game, which is when the community reports went out, the sheriff's department and the fiscal services department were aligned on what those reports were saying and what the going forward rates were. I'm not hung up on the steps precisely as I laid them out, but I think we're still in a quagmire here.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Powell.
Can I request that Gendra, if you don't mind, can you share that timeline with the communities or that's impacted with this? And then Chair, or I'll even help with this to just get an update to see where are things at with each community. And I really wanna call the question to understand why we ain't on that timeline, because according to us last year, we did not want no communities to be coming back and miss seeing him here. That was the whole goal. We wanted to avoid that. Have all that come, have all that back, them conversations. We come and we know it's done early, we done been abreast, and, you know, just move forward. So I just want, all I can do is try to help, cause Pontiac in it, so I need to help
Yeah.
and see.
And I
That
know-
was the expectation that communities would
And you
be-
were very clear too, Chair.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think the chairman has been very clear. And I think maybe things were assumed were being done and they weren't done.
Mhm.
And now we need to reset. So the chairman is on it, Brian has been on it. But at the end of the day, when you're a leader, the buck stops there, right? I mean, that's how it works in my business.
And we just need to share with the other communities, so we can do our part.
Okay, so we'll look
And the
for an
commissioners.
update and Commissioner Ginzel will take the point on
Yeah,
this.
thank you. Sorry.
you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yeah.
Thank
Two
you.
meetings left, how long?
All right, next up for public comment.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
It's been a minute since I've seen you, so thank you. I'm gonna try and wrap this up in under 3 minutes. I practiced this morning. I'm gonna do it. So my name is Steve Norris. Today I'm here to share a deep sense of gratitude. As you all voted last year to help with emergency funding for our emergency shelter, the Safe Tonight shelter, and the people that had the privilege to serve this year, we want to convey our deepest appreciation for that financial support. I want to be clear about my intent today. I'm not here to criticize government, as I've seen too often in recent, to suggest more that should be done or to even ask for more funding. Today, I'm simply here to share the voices who are directly impacted by your decision, where the needs are great and the work is ongoing. Because of the collective efforts during one of the coldest winter seasons we've ever had, and we're 4 days into spring, because of those collective efforts, we've been able to securely shelter women in shelter across Oakland County, and they were given a safe, dignified place to go when they needed it the most. I brought today a few of our guests to directly share their impact of how that helped them in their journey in their life. And this was more than just a single action. It was truly a collaborative partnership. Because of that partnership with Oakland County, we've seen our community partners step forward in ways that have surpassed all of our expectations. These partners have created something much deeper than a temporary shelter this year. It's given people truly a hand up, not just a place to stay, but also a pathward forward. And with that support, the support of Oakland Connect's team working tirelessly behind the scenes, we were able to respond to a monumental challenge with both compassion and coordination. Because of that, 58 individuals housed within that shelter are now transitioning into permanent transitional subsidized housing throughout the county. I also want to briefly recognize the work that often goes unseen. The monthly leadership meetings for over a year with Commissioner Powell, Mediha Tariq, Leanne Stafford, Khadija Walker-Fobbs, to name a few, that have carried this work forward with consistency and care. The twice weekly case management meetings with the Oakland Connect's team that connect all of these individuals with these resources for essential care. We all understand that affordable housing is a complex and ongoing challenge, and not one that everyone is willing to step into. Yet this board, along with county leadership, did just that. You chose to act, and in doing so, you demonstrated what Oakland County does best. You've cared for one another. We recognize that public safety is not easy, often criticized and not often praised. Today's that day. We want to let you know that your efforts are seen, they're felt, and they've made a meaningful difference. So for myself and everyone else, we're truly grateful and thank you.
Hi, my name is Sienna Turner. I was a resident at the shelter. I'm a mother of 5 beautiful girls. 2025 started off very hard for me. I was involved in an abusive relationship, which ultimately led to me having to abandon my house and everything inside, taking my kids from the only home they've ever knew. We bounced from their family member's house because I don't have any family members that I can depend on. And it ended up leading to me living inside my vehicle. I started working, trying to save up enough for me to get a place. I ended up totaling my vehicle, and shortly afterwards, I had to turn myself in to jail. After coming out of jail, I ended up with nowhere to go and no car, nothing. So I ended up stumbling upon Steve's shelter, and I had no idea what to expect. But when I got there, they've overstood behind me. They've helped me get everything that I needed for my kids and myself. They put me in a place where now I have built the ability to trust people again. And they've also shown me who I am again. I'm like what I'm capable of. So I believe like I've turned myself around completely. I've changed my whole appearance and the way I carry myself. I'm more confident now, and I believe that this is a huge step towards my future. And I'm extremely thankful for you guys for helping him. And you, Steve.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sandra Robinson. I am so blessed to be here. 3 months ago, I got hurt on the job. I lost my job. I was trying to find jobs to the point where I got behind in rent. I had to move out. So I moved out with my 2 cats into an abandoned house across the street from where I live. I lived in there for about 3 weeks, going around digging out of the garbage can for food. I kept walking by this church, And I said to myself, if I walk by this church one more time and they be open, I'm gonna go in there and ask for help. So I went in there. I said, I'm homeless, I'm cold, I don't know where to, I have no family. I didn't have anywhere to go. Lucky for me, the lady that worked at Tara came and got me and put me in the shelter. I didn't want to leave because I didn't want to leave my cats. And that broke my heart when I went back. Steve took me to go back and get them and they were dead. I came back and I was just so hurt. I got depressed. I wouldn't talk to anybody. But slowly, everybody brought me out of my shell. And now I'm blessed to have the opportunity to have another place to live. And I'm so grateful to Steve and everyone else that I found them. Because if it wasn't for them, literally, I would be dead. So, thank you for allowing it, to be open. I hope to continue to be open because there's so many women and kids that need help. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your testimonies. So what that allows us to do is continue with our hearts to care for other people. So it makes a difference. Your words make a difference. And waiting through our committee meetings makes a difference also. But thank you for coming and the work you do. Because by your testimony and what you've experienced, you're able to help other people also, the people around you. And that's just a domino effect that creates goodwill for others also. So you are doing good in the world. You're the light that carries on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys will follow me. I just want to say thank you guys for representing there. Is it Steve's shelter or what's the shelter called?
Safe Tonight.
Safe Tonight.
I'm gonna give y'all my number, I'm resourceful.
Hi, my name's Margaret Gupta. I'm with Oakland Township, and I don't think I can really follow that presentation. That was excellent. I'm more on the Mayor Barnett thing of, he sent communications, I dropped off communications. I'm asking, begging for some kind of response. To say that we're frustrated, these are just words that he used that I kind of resonated with. You guys are the leaders of the community. You guys have the ability to have people convene and talk about stuff. There's not been any direct response. And yes, has there been change in historic record? Absolutely. 5 Zoom hearing records have been changed. That's prison felony. Truly is. And everybody that's in the legal field already knows that's wrong, but there's been no action, right? I'm gonna read this email that I had sent because I had called Valerie that works for Lisa Brown, who is the County Clerk Register of Deeds. She's also an attorney. I was responded by Mr. Fred Miller, who's also an attorney. And this is what Valerie said, because she understood the importance, she understood the urgency. She said, Ms. Gupta called me. She asked if anybody was gonna follow up with her. 947-957-0439. She warns that her phone has been tampered with and cannot receive certain calls, text messages have been deleted. The email preferred is my email. Just to put this right out there, every email that I have ends with, hey, look at this. It's a whole paragraph. I have over 151 offices at the state level, judicial level, that cannot call me and I cannot call them. Somebody did that because I'm targeted. Valerie goes on to say, she said a lot of things. She probably will share with all with you as well. Very brief overview, Zoom is unsecure and should not be used for court proceedings. She wants a meeting to correct the court transcripts with the county clerk. She believes there is a sophisticated effort to conceal information, that several court hearings via Zoom have been altered, among other things, and she wants the responsible held accountable. She will be attending all the Board of Control meetings and voicing her concerns until she gets justice. Mainly, she's adamantly requested follow-up with her for the Friday paperwork drop-off. Please let me know if or how I can assist you. Thank you, very best, Valerie. Mr. Fred Miller writes me back the next day. And he goes, hi, Ms. Gupta. I'm writing to follow up and acknowledge you received your letter dated November 14th, 2025. The Oakland County Clerk's Office will take it under advisement. Thanks. That was it. The Zoom hearing platform is being used as a tool to rig cases, to remove statements from record that they don't want. Just like Mr. Barnett said, hey, look at, there's been a change in historic record. Electronic records can be altered. I have my mail been sent down to a food bank in Alabama. I have my mail sent out to California for 4 days, then to Pennsylvania for 5 days, and then back here, why? To become invalid for service, court hearing service, to a regional state court administrator. I don't know what you guys are waiting on. I'm not the only one that the court record's been changed on. And not even the county clerk, whose duty is supposed to preserve court records, any record, to make sure it's accurate and precise. She won't even change it. And we found out the state court administrative office doesn't make record numbers, case numbers, or file numbers for any complaints filed. Why?
Thank you.
Are you guys gonna have a response?
You know we don't respond to public comment. Anybody else for public comment? All right, public comment is closed. We don't have any other business. Oh, Commissioner Powell.
Just real quick, I want to go on record to state that with the sheriff contracts and stuff, I do thank you because you did say at least chairman has been kind of in the loop of it. He also has stated, and I was supposed to say this, I just forgot that, they wanted Mr. Barnett to kind of reach out, even though he stated that he was told to kind of reach out with Markham and Woodward. So I just want to encourage that, but I am happy that we have collectively come together to do some additional outreach to assist with this, to get them kind of back on the agreed schedule. So I just wanted to go on record with that. Thank you.
Mr.
May I just
Gento.
add on? So yes, I want to elaborate on it. I know the chairman, Woodward, has been open to meet with any supervisor. He's met with the one in Independence. I think he's met with Barnett, or certainly has offered. So I've got no, that's not what I'm trying to get at. What I'm trying to get at is, what are the true up rates? Do we know that they're accurate? Does the sheriff office agree with them? And does that allow us to set the rates for 26 and beyond so communities can plan accordingly? The chairman has been, like I said, he's been more than involved and engaged, and Brian has as well. So with all the things Brian's got going on, I appreciate him getting laser focused on this item. We just gotta land the plane and know that it's right.
Yep, and I know from past, we've requested that that type of stuff be completed before
With
coming to us.
advance notice.
Yeah, thank you, that statement. Okay, thank you.
Anything else?
Nope.
All right, our meeting is adjourned at 12:21. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.